Joe. I like to surround myself with people that are smarter than I am. And such is the case today. The young lady sitting before me has been here before, telling us about a trip she was about to do. She's since done it. Now we're going to find out what happened on it. And we say good morning to Ria Schultz. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I think, Ria, we need a little background as to what you were studying at Saginaw Valley State University and what prompted you to go to Ghana.
Okay, so I originally was in nursing, but it wasn't my forte, and so I went to business school, and I saw they had international business as an option, and travel has always really inspired me, and like the globalization of the world has always inspired me. So I saw within my studies in the international business program, there was a global leadership program you could apply to enter into. And through this program, it was 3-semester intensive program. In the last semester, it was a cultural immersion experience internationally. And due to the connections that SVSU has with a lot of students who have come from Ghana, Africa, and a professor we have that is long-term been here, we were able to go there.
And so before we get there, you were in your senior year.
Yes, my senior year when we went on the trip.
So have you graduated?
I did this May.
And what is your degree in?
International business and political science.
And you're going to go for a master's?
Yes, that is the plan. The applications, I'm not sure when they open yet, but there's a couple programs I'm looking at. I'm looking at the global management and politics.
Overseas?
Overseas, yes.
Roma.
In Roma.
You can have Rome. Not my favorite place.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, so you're accepted into this global program, and you went to Ghana because of the connections to the university. How long were you there?
We were there for about 14 days, so almost 2 weeks. The travel, it's kind of foggy in my head because there were like 2 really long travel days we had at the beginning.
Yeah, I bet there were.
We were there for a solid amount of time.
And so you're in this country of which you're not familiar.
Yes.
Everything is different.
Yes.
How different?
Different to the extent that, like, sometimes we would be at our hotel and the power would go out. It would come back on eventually. Different to the extent you can't drink the water when you go there. So we were always drinking bottled water. When you brush your teeth, use bottled water. So there were just a little different precautions you had to take just because
we used to do that when we went to Mexico. It was the same thing. You know?
Yes. So different to that extent, and it's English speaking, so that wasn't too confusing for us. We did learn a little bit. I'm trying to remember as I'm sitting here. I was like, what are some of the words they taught us? Culturally and politically, very different to an extent. They have traditional government and non-traditional government. Their traditional government is based in their cultural and religious beliefs more so. And their non-traditional is the governmental politics that they've been like surrounding themselves with the past 30 years. They've been liberated for 30 years from the colonies. So,
but which one runs the country?
They kind of work hand in hand.
Oh, they do work together.
Yes, they do.
That's...
So there's a lot of respect for their traditional religious and cultural government. They have a king. There's a few different tribes that are still very prominent and strong within Ghana, and there's a king of the Ashanti. He kind of owns the land. So when you're going to buy or rent land, you have to get his blessing versus like going to a landlord, or we call him the ultimate landlord. And like when we were just like reflecting on it, and then the government's kind of like constructing as they go. They're 30 years young, so they're still developing and like figuring out the ins and outs of their legislations and things like that.
So what was the biggest city you were in?
We went to Accra, which it's small, but it's the most populated, and then we went to Kumasi, which is the biggest land region that they have.
So when you're walking down the streets in these cities, does it feel any different than anywhere else?
Yes, it's a lot. The roads aren't as paved as we are used to here, and they have open sewers, so you can like one time. It's actually pretty funny. We were adapting as we went, but we had like this tour bus because we were all on the bus together with our professors and all the students and like our tour guides. And sometimes the buses would be taking turns on these small streets, and the tires would get stuck in the sewer because they're just open. You can like look down.
Yeah, you could look down. I'm not going to look down.
Yes, not recommended.
That had to be pretty interesting.
Yes, it was. We were like less than half a mile away from our hotel when we were getting back one night, and the bus tire got stuck in one of the open sewers, and we just walked the rest of the way. So we were definitely adapting as we went.
Wow.
Some people handled it better than others, but we were doing it together, so we got through it. So.
Safety-wise, you felt safe?
Yeah, for the most part. Honestly, everyone was very, very friendly and welcoming. They always say when you come to Ghana, you come home. So, and most of the people we met a lot of students. We met a lot of like professors from Ghana. Our tour guides were students at SVSU and from Ghana, so we were familiar to an extent with them, and they were so welcoming. So I felt pretty comfortable.
Now, you mentioned English is that the language of the country?
Yes. They have their traditional, it's called Twi language. I probably butchered how you pronounce that because it's 3 letters, but their pronunciations are different. But English is their national language, yes.
Which makes it easy to visit.
Yes.
Take care. They drive on the right side or the left side?
I'm trying to remember. I think, well, okay, so depending on where you're at, you're just sharing the road. So, like, if you're coming head on with someone, it's like, who's going to go first? I think it was the right side. I can't honestly remember. But, like, their highways are, like, these, like, open fields of, like, sand and dirt. And
That's a highway.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so...
Well, that's the lack of funding.
Yes. It's slowly trickling in as they're developing, but they're still very early on. So,
30 years is pretty young for a country.
Yes. And like they're taking the reins for themselves. So it's you can see the development happening. It's pretty cool though.
So as you look at that country, what's the major occupation?
So depending on where you're at, there's a lot of government jobs. There's teaching, and then like small businesses, essentially like selling things in their market streets and things like that. They have these beautiful markets, art markets where you can get clothes or scarves or jewelry, paintings, music instruments that people are hand making. So they have like a lot of like work like that, and they sell to tourism, they sell to everyone there. So there's like the vending in the streets and things like that is probably predominant.
Do they cater to tourists?
Yes, they do.
Is it becoming a
yes.
destination?
So like when we went to the art markets, they would come up to you and be like, "You want to buy this? You want to buy this? You can take this. You can take." So they'll do that. They're very friendly and they kind of like are funny about it, but sometimes they will really, really press you. So you got to put your foot down. Like one of our guides, she was like, I know they don't raise you girls like this in America, but you just like have to like put your foot down, tell the guide no that you don't want to buy the this and that. Like you don't have to like entertain him. Just if you don't want to, don't worry. Just so. It was very interesting to go to the art markets for sure. But, yeah, it was really cool.
Agriculture, is it big there or not?
In what sense do you mean? Like,
do they grow their own crops?
Oh, okay. Yes, they do. A lot of times in, like, the street markets and the vendings, you'll see, like, their fresh fruits and vegetables that they had, like, just...
And that I imagine is a cultural shift. We're used to going into a Meijer or a Kroger where shelves are stocked.
Yes.
They're out there selling it on the street.
Yes. There was one grocery store we did go to. It was interesting to see. It's like essentially like it's like a little bit smaller than I want to say like a Kroger would be, or like a smaller like an Aldi or something like that. But they had like it was a grocery store, but at the same time there's like you can see I don't know if you will, a wealth gap or like just like where you are in the city, depending. Like obviously we were privileged to be in like hotels and like we had a paid for trip, which is very different than a vast majority of their population. But then also they have the up and comings and like you can see the like the infrastructures and the housing and everything being built. But you still at the same like breath you saw people living in like the little huts with like the tin roofs and things like that. And like you would see a Mercedes-Benz driving down the street while someone was cooking something over an open fire outside. So it's very interesting to see where they're at right now.
Yeah. We're talking to Rhea Schultz from Saginaw Valley State University. Her studies in international business and political science led her to Ghana. Talking about that, and we'll talk more with her about her future, too. Interesting young lady, and we'll be back with her after these notes.
You Asked, and Old City Hall listens.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. In studio with me, Rhea Schultz, a now former student at Saginaw Valley State University because she graduated and went overseas back in March to Ghana with a student group. So how do I ask this question? You're studying international business and political science. You go to Ghana and you come back. What'd you learn?
I learned that, well, a bunch of things, but I definitely learned that developing nations have their struggles, but also they have like their prosperities that they're looking forward to. And I learned that the world is a lot smaller than you realize just from like the connections you can make. We met a lot of students there, and we obviously had perceptions just coming from different countries, like each of us, like with our assumptions and whatnot. But after getting to like meet other students abroad, and we did a student conference together, so we were like doing projects and like working on things together. But we're a lot more similar than we realize. We were like laughing about the same jokes we would see online and on social media and things like that, and like we would dance together. We went out to eat, and like we just connected really well. So I think I definitely learned like the world is big. It's very different, a lot of different cultures, but we are a lot more similar as human beings than I think a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
So
you're over in this culture. You're used to something coming from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to reliable service and all of that good stuff. Do they have internet?
Yes. It was interesting because while we were abroad, we left about 2 or 3 days before spring break started. So a few of us missed a few classes just because we left, like, I think it was like a Thursday or Wednesday. And so I was like trying to do my homework, but through the SVSU like student page that you use to access your classes, it wouldn't, the domain, whatever, I don't really know internet that much, but it wouldn't let me open my student page to do the homework. So there were a few challenges we had, but they do have internet. So we were able to like contact, they had like Wi-Fi so we could contact our families and like talk to each other. So it was cool.
Reliable cell phones?
Yes. For the most part, there were a few times when we were like driving. We visited the Royal Seed Orphanage because we did a donation drive for them because part of our course was to do a service component, and that was one of them. And when we were driving to this orphanage, like there was like no connection, so you just had to make sure you had your things downloaded if you wanted to listen to music while we got there or something like that. But for the most part, we were very well connected, and we were always together, so it was good.
All right, so let's look at what's next.
Okay.
The programs you're applying for in the master's area of study.
Yes.
Where are they and what are they?
So I'm looking at a few. There's two that I would really love to go to because they're abroad in Italy, and I like Rome. But there's one at John Cabot University, which is an American university. It's just based in Rome, so you get like an intercultural experience with it, but they have an English program. And that one's in international affairs because they have like a more limited selection for programs. But at an Italian university, it's called Luis University. They have a master's in global politics and management, and they also have international affairs. So I'm just going to apply to a few places.
And if I could look into my Rhea Schultz crystal ball of the future, Where do you see yourself in 10 years? What do you want to be doing?
I would love to be a lawyer.
So you want to go for international law.
Yes, I do.
10 years from now, you'll still be in school.
Yes, I will. So, yeah, I'll probably be in school. I'm looking at doing at the Luis University. They have they have a law program there, and it's centered around business and civics. So I would love to attend there. It's a 5-year program versus in the United States, 3-year program. But the credits are transferable to some extent, so I don't think it would be completely 3 full years, depending on what school I would go to. Because I want to get my law degree in the United States regardless of where I'm at. But I think getting both of whatever country I'd want to settle in or go back and forth to would be really beneficial to me.
Yeah, so if George Clooney ever gets rid of his wife, you'll be able to step in as an international lawyer. I got
it. Exactly.
So when we talk about international law, what does it cover?
It can cover kind of everything, if you will. It goes from criminal to human rights, policy legislation, but also business, dealings, litigations. So it depends. And I like to focus more on the business sides of it. So
Companies internationally doing business.
Yes. So the local laws of one country and also the other country that they're negotiating with, investment dealings, the laws surrounding that. Make sure you're not breaking international treaties or violating any contracts. I like contract law a lot.
So do you see yourself with a firm, or do you see yourself working for a corporation? Or
I would love to work for a corporation, but there are a lot of major law firms in the United States that have offices abroad. So that's, I don't want to say easy way, but it gets your foot in the door.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a first start.
So it just all depends on how it flows, ebbs and flows. I'm just going to apply to where I can and see where it gets me. So
after you gave up your nursing career
Yes.
desires, you found international business, and have you looked back and said, I'm not sure about this?
No, honestly, no. When I was in my nursing program, that's when I was second guessing. Am I sure about this? Because in my mom's family, everyone was a teacher or a nurse, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, I'll go into nursing. And then I was like, yeah, this is not my forte. So.
Well, you tried it, though.
Yes, I did. And that's what I'm learning. It's all about what you try, and you just got to stick to something. And
eventually you got to stick to something. Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt about that. But exposing yourself to it gives you an idea of what you might be getting into.
Yes, yes. So I think I definitely learned that I did not want to get into nursing when I was there.
So if you're going to go for your master's, when do you plan to start?
Next fall is when I'm planning to start. I'm
So
saving money
you're
up.
taking a year off,
Yes, yes. A well-needed break. Just from how high school went and then going to university after and just figuring out the ins and out of what I wanted to do. I want to be prepared for the next step I take financially, mentally.
are you? So what are you doing to kill time?
Working. Just working. So I've been working at Diamonds and Jewelry Unlimited. It's a local jewelry store. It's right down the road. Mm-hmm. For 3 years now. I was part-time during college. I've picked up a few more hours as I've graduated. And I'm also part-time at Covenant Healthcare and patient services in the birth registration unit. So
That keeps you busy.
yes.
All right. Got to take a break, and we'll come back. We're talking to Rhea Schultz. We will be back with her after these notes.
You work hard, and Labor Day.
Back with you. We're talking to Rhea Schultz. She graduated Saginaw Valley State University recently. Before she graduated, though, she was part of a group that went to Ghana to study international business and the like. And 14 days, was it long enough?
Yes, it was. I'd gone on a previous shorter term study abroad, and we were there for about 9 full study days, and it just didn't seem like it was that encapsulating, but with this one it was. And I don't know if that was just because of where we were at.
I mean, was there classroom time in this too, or was it all visiting things and learning?
We didn't necessarily have classroom time, but we did do a lot of like workshops and interactions with the students in Ghana they were business centered, so like management, accounting, anything in the business field. We did workshops with them, and it was centered around implementing AI in developing countries and making sure it's ethical and reasonable. I know. So we did a lot of workshops we did a lot of reading, writing, problem solving with them. So we did that, but not like lectures or anything like that. We did a lot of like historical visiting. And
did you find that the students you interacted with were well versed?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. And like very eager to be like hands-on and like want to do the problem solving. And there were students from all over the country of Ghana, from different universities. We did it at the university in Accra, Ghana. So they were highly intelligent, selected individuals. It was really cool to work with them.
So their higher education, even though it's a small country, only 30 years old, is performing pretty well, it sounds like.
Yes. I think a lot of the institutions were developed before they were liberated, but they've carried on since, because I think people see how profound of an impact that education has on nations, especially as they're developing. The more educated people you have, the more likely your society's going to be successful. So I think they've really, really pressed that.
What surrounds Ghana?
The countries. It's on the west side of like the northern part. So there's water on one of the sides, and then I'm trying to remember the countries around it. I know Niger's near it. I'm trying to think. It's blanking me right now. But yeah.
Got her.
You did give me.
So, when you decided to study international business after you scrapped nursing, was it an easy decision? Was it a quick decision? How did you come to it?
It was difficult for me to initially leave nursing because I didn't want to like feel like I was letting my parents down, because I couldn't bring myself to do it. But I knew I didn't want to do like teaching or music or like any other field. So I was like, okay, I'll be the typical nurse dropout that goes to business. So I was looking for a little bit, just like scouring the SVSU like offers, and once I saw it, I was dead set. I knew that's what I wanted, so that's what I chose. So it took me a little bit to find, but once I found it, no looking back.
No regrets?
Nope, not one.
Best time of it?
Best time of like SVSU? I think honestly, the more I got involved, like once I found the major I really liked, and I like saw how it could fit in my life, I was more comfortable to get involved on campus and like student organizations. One being the one that allowed me to go to Ghana, the Vidido Global Leadership, and then just like silly like clubs like True Crime Club, and like just it like helped me flourish, and I like found myself a little bit more and like a confidence in myself. So,
and you've applied for these programs in Rome. Are they competitive? A lot of people apply for a few positions.
I think all the websites say competitive, like it's competitive. I think to an extent, yes. Like you have to apply yourself in like a well-respected manner, and you have to like be diligent when you are doing it. A lot of times Italian university websites don't list like their acceptance rates or things like that. It's just like you show up and you do the right things to get you in, you get in. Is what I'm learning and like hearing from my friends and everything. So I'm hoping that.
When were you here?
When we're in Italy, or
where are you going in Italy? Do you know?
Oh no, not yet. No, still waiting. One of the applications doesn't open up until like around January.
Oh, so you haven't even applied.
Yeah, they're a little bit slower paced over there. The Dolce Vita, very much so. So I have to, like, the websites all will say, like, check back in October for when applications open, because, like, they're doing, like, they don't even respond to your emails right now if you're inquiring about more than this upcoming semester. So figuring it out as I go, for sure.
Well, that's good. I mean,
Yes.
you really need to.
Yes.
We'll take our last break, come back as we talk to Rhea Schultz about her travels and her plans in the future. Graduated from Saginaw Valley State University with a degree in international business and political science. Political science. Talk about that.
Yes.
In an emergency, when
As we return, talking to Rhea Schultz, a Saginaw Valley State University graduate with a degree in international business and political science. Talked a lot about the international business, not so much about the political science. Why political science?
Good question. Because I know politics is always a mess and it's always so catty. I personally don't love it, but I like the theory behind it and the foundation in law that it has. Like, you can't have law without the politics, unfortunately. So I like it for the building blocks, the units that it can provide us, but I do think it's, and like the theories behind it, it almost makes it like it's like a tug of war game, like which side is gonna win and this and that, and like
It's more than a
follow
tug
the-
of war.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
battlefield anymore.
Yes, so I like it for that reason, and like generally anywhere you go, any democratic state or country you go to is going to have some sort of political system, so it's necessary.
Well, even the ones that aren't democratic have
Yes.
a political
Yes,
system. It's
yes.
theirs, but
Yes, so
political science. I've been doing this a long time, and had to talk about politics for a long time.
yes,
And I have come to the conclusion, right or wrong, far left, far right make all the noise. Mm-hmm. Most people don't live there.
yes,
Most people have a mix of conservative and liberal views on various topics.
yeah,
But all the noise is made because of social media.
oh my gosh, yes, oh, my
And I give
gosh.
an example. See how your political science mind thinks about this. Let us go back to the days of our founding fathers, and let us say we want to accuse Thomas Jefferson of being an adulterer.
Okay,
Now, maybe he was. It doesn't matter. How did we find out about it? Well, somebody called the newspaper, whatever that was at the time. Some reporter took down the notes, talked about it, talked to people, wrote the story. It was printed on whatever form of printing they had at the time, put on a horse, and delivered to your town, where maybe a town crier will read it, or maybe you could afford a newspaper and you bought it. But that was it.
yep,
You found out Thomas Jefferson was an adulterer one time, and then life went on.
yeah,
Today, if Thomas Jefferson were alive and you accused him of being an adulterer, which again, as I said, he may have been, I don't know, you would be hit over the head with it 100 times a day for weeks at a time.
yep,
You couldn't escape the story. To the point where you got to the point where you only tuned in people who were saying what you wanted to hear about it.
right.
That's my view of political science today.
Yes, yes. No, I completely agree. I think the media is social media construes a lot of what's actually going on. And I think that's part of like how they keep functioning themselves, so they'll feed off of that and all the drama associated with it.
Well, certainly that's true of some organizations because that's their whole life's blood.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's definitely chaotic in that extent. And then it's like every time I like even like buy a book or like whatever I read online, I'm like, do I trust you as like whoever's writing? Like I don't know who this person is and they're how
But
biased is it?
that's
for
good to
them?
be skeptical.
So I definitely
Questioning.
yeah, yes, exactly. So and every time like whatever news station is on, I'm just like, I don't know what bias is here, but like they're all talking about the same thing, a little bit
Yeah,
different,
well,
things like
you
that.
don't know what bias. Just hang around for 5 minutes, you'll figure it out.
Yes, exactly. So I definitely agree with you there. I definitely do. So it's crazy, but I definitely like the systematic approach to politics. So like we have our legislation and our House and the judiciary and things like that. Studying those aspects, like the building blocks and like how they're supposed to coordinate.
Political protocols and how they're supposed to work.
Yes, so I think that's the appeal I find to it. And then also just watching, like sitting back and like, it's almost comical how dramatic things can get. And like, it's like, what's going on, guys? Why?
Yeah, it's a sad comedy, but it's comedy.
You gotta laugh or you cry.
Well, Rhea, listen, we wish you the absolute best in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
When you find out what school you're going to, let us know.
Okay.
When will you know?
Probably next. I have to take an exam